All right, gamers, welcome to One More Game Podcast, episode 6, 27 March 2022. I am theStroke. I'm here with my good buddy Swiftmida. How's it going, Swift?
Good, dude. You kidding me? How about them Blue Devils?
Oh,
The
yeah.
final.
Final
Yes, sir.
Four bound.
Love it.
Yeah. We had some listeners tell us that we hope they keep winning so that you're not sad on the podcast. So
Not sad yet, baby.
Not yet. Just setting you up for heartbreak.
No, stop it. You stop it.
Cool, dude. How was your week?
It was good. You can clearly see I still have this heinous mustache on my face.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's within Air Force regulations.
Yeah, I don't care. At this point, I'm over it. I can't wait till Thursday night, and I can shave this thing off my face and go about my life.
Beautiful,
because it bugs me.
Well, it looks glorious. And speaking of glory, guys, you can see down there if you're up there in the chat. Welcome, and we are 25 followers away from 50 followers. So just share us with your friends, make it happen, and we will reward you with continued great content about video games. We're here to talk to you about news in the video game industry, what we played, recommendations, reviews, and I hope you guys get as much out of this as we can give you. Dude, I got to talk about this thing because it is so cool. It's kind of what I've been messing with all week, but it's called the Backbone.
Okay.
So it's basically a controller that you plug into your phone. It just goes in, it plugs into the bottom power port. And now it turns your phone into a controller.
And does it just expand like to the top of your phone?
Yeah, it does. It expands. The one caveat is the iPhone 13 Pro Max or whatever this one is barely fits because phones just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So it was cool. One day I plugged in and they go, "Is your phone not quite fitting?" Like the app pulled up and said, "We're sending you a adapter that is going to make it fit better." So,
that's nice.
For free. But anyways, cool. Your phone is a controller, blah, 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 whatever. Well, when you combine that with Xbox's cloud gaming service, essentially you can play anything on Game Pass with this thing. And I've just been going to town on all these cool games over on Game Pass.
Is there a certain app you have to download for your phone to be able to make this thing work, or what?
Yeah, it downloads the Backbone app, and that just kind of runs this like proprietary software that they've got. But
okay.
But you just run like Xbox Cloud Gaming or Xbox app to make it work. But we'll get into a game that I've been playing this week over on Game Pass, and this thing is awesome. Like never before in my life have I theoretically, I'm not saying I've done this, but can play video games under my desk at work and nobody would even know.
Yeah, right. You're most certainly upping your screen time, which I know you get a report for every week.
Oh, so yeah.
You better, chill out.
Gaming doesn't count, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Cool. So if you're interested in that, it's called The Backbone. It's like, I want to say $40 or something, but really cool.
Nice. Dude, I'll be honest. The Backbone is I guess great name for it. It also reminds me of my backbone because I've been digging out irrigation systems all week long.
Oh, neat.
In my backyard because we got leaks all over because palm trees are growing. And I tell you what, I was not fit for manual labor. Flying the F-16 is way better. I can't do it.
You sit for a living, so
yeah, it's been absolutely brutal. But whatever.
Nice. Well,
fine. We're gonna get it fixed.
It's good for you. It'll put some hair on your face.
That's
look
right.
at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh wait, it's there. Yeah.
Cool, dude. Well, I'm glad you made it, survived all that, and we'll get right into the gaming news for the week. All right, first things first. Did you see the Halo premiere on Paramount Plus?
I did. I actually watched it this afternoon. So when I was, Shannon and I were out in the backyard and doing a bunch of stuff, and thankfully we have a TV in the backyard that basically plugs in from our bedroom that we can just hook an HDMI cord to. So we turned Shannon's computer on, like played the March Madness game out in our backyard. And so that was on in the background as I was digging trenches in my backyard. But then I was really hoping St. Peter's was going to pull it off.
I know.
They're this Cinderella story, right? And then they just got dominated by UNC.
It's all about matchups, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, which I'm actually excited for because Duke and UNC have never played in the NCAA tournament before in the history of the tournament. It is true.
How is that possible?
They've literally never played each other in the NCAA tournament. So I'm excited for a rematch with Duke and UNC. I'm excited to see Duke come out victorious, go to the national championship. I got all my Duke gear on. Obviously, I keep it more and more on every podcast just to hopefully get them through the finals here. But anyway, so once UNC was up by like 20 points, I was like, okay, St. Peter's, they keep jacking up threes. That's not how you win a game.
Yeah.
They're out of it. So I went inside. Shannon was out in the pool and turned on Halo because I know she's not super interested in it. But I turned it on and I think it's really good so far.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago in one of the podcasts about how like if you're basing movie characters off of characters who have no personality and all the things, I think they're trying to like totally turn the script on that.
Yeah.
As far as like Master Chief going against his orders, and I don't want to do too many spoilers. It's only the first episode, but it can be a very interesting storyline here with Master Chief going against what his orders from the top down is.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they were listening to our podcast and took my advice.
You're welcome, guys.
Now he has a personality, like he has thoughts. I won't do too much spoiling, but like in episode 1, something happens that hasn't happened in 15 years of Halo games.
And he took the mask off, like showed his face.
That's the spoiler, dude.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know where you were going.
All right, it's episode 1, so not really
episode 1. We got a whole season / hopefully multiple based on how I'm feeling about it so far.
Cool. Well, that being said, the news of that is Halo, the series premiere, has broken Paramount Plus's debut record, beating 1883 that you talked about a couple weeks ago. And that's about, they're guessing somewhere over 5 million viewers watched episode 1 of Halo. So I think that's more than I thought it would be. People would be willing to get Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I also think that like when we say Halo breaks Paramount Plus debut record, like Paramount Plus has been around for what, like, I don't know, 6 months,
maybe
so like,
a year max.
Yeah, it's not a crazy record to break, but I am excited about the series as a whole. I think it looks great.
Yeah, kind of it almost felt like a little bit of Mandalorian vibe going on. Yeah.
Thanks, Metal Former. I don't like my mustache either. I promise.
This is not a spoiler, but Master Chief does not have a mustache.
No, he does not.
Cool. All right, moving on to the next piece of information we got. So speaking of Xbox properties, so PlayStation is looking to compete with the Xbox Game Pass. Bloomberg released a report this week that said that PlayStation is set to announce their streaming service, possibly codenamed Spartacus, which would be kind of weird, but...
that'd be different.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the problem. Sony has announced that it will most likely not include their major AAA releases like God of War Ragnarok, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beauty of Game Pass, is that like when Halo Infinite came out, I didn't have to buy it. It was just like, here you go, you can play this because you are a Game Pass subscriber.
Yeah.
So what do you think? You think PlayStation, is this too little too late, or do you think this will actually be a good option? Because there are a lot of good games only on PlayStation.
Yeah, I know of a few good games. I can't think of them right now off the top of my nugget, but I know some good games that are PS only. I think that if you're not offering or advertising your most recent games, you're probably a little behind the power curve as far as the Game Pass type subscription goes.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they're just trying to make moves to make it a little bit more competitive.
Yeah, so I don't know. They haven't said anything about this, but another benefit of Game Pass, right, is I can play it on something that's not an Xbox. Like I can play Xbox Cloud on my computer or my phone with the backbone, right?
Yeah.
I highly doubt PlayStation allows you to play, their coveted God of War on your phone. You know what I mean? Like they keep that stuff kind of close knit.
Right. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
We'll see. There's definitely a lot of PlayStation players, so they'll make money off of this, but I think they're going to have to learn to adapt and kind of basically do what Xbox does, or else they're not going to compete.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're just trying to do something to compete with Xbox, plus you have so many people that are PS only, that they're probably gonna, make money on this. I feel like most people who are PS5 players now only, or PC, PC or PS5 only, will probably, pay the however much it is a month to get after this.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to try some of these games out that I've never played, like the God of War series, the Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, all those games. But I can't find a freaking PlayStation 5. It's impossible. So, if they make this available on computer, I'd probably jump on that just to knock those games out and then cancel.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, we'll see how it goes. But there's another subscription out there for you. Speaking of subscriptions, Grand Theft Auto Plus is another subscription coming out on the 29th. What does this get you? Another one. So they're going to charge you $6, and you're going to get basically early access to cars, guns. They'll give you some experience, cash only in Grand Theft Auto Online. But this is only available for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. So I don't know anyone that plays Grand Theft Auto Online, but I don't get this. What are they charging you for? Is this? Yeah. To me, it seems like you're paying to be better,
or the same thing. They're just charging you more money.
Yeah,
I don't know. I also don't know anybody personally that plays Grand Theft Auto Online. I know I see it on Twitch all the time as far as people playing it and doing, all kinds of stuff on it. But yeah, I probably wouldn't be paying an extra $6 a month. And I feel like that's probably kind of gimmicky as far as them charging $6 a month, because they're like, oh, it's only $6, but at the same time, like, what are you getting? Early access to cars? What does that mean? There's cars in the game.
It's kind of getting nutty, dude. Like, you subscribe to everything now. Like, I want to go buy a soda, and they're going to start getting me on a subscription plan. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I don't get it.
Doesn't. Yeah, not for me.
Save your money, people.
Good for you guys that are paying your monthly salary to play GTA Online.
There you go. All right, well, let's move on. So for you World of Warcraft fans out there, the race to the world first in the most recent raid released in WoW Shadowlands. 20 days on, Team Echo beats out Team Liquid to be the first team ever.
20 days.
20 days. They've been hacking at this thing.
Thank you, Nana F16. I appreciate that. My wife likes the mustache too.
Yeah, sure she does. All right, dude. I mean, as far as WoW's concerned, yeah, it's not as popular as it used to be, but it's whenever they do those race to world first, like, it's still one of the top streamed channels.
Dude, it's crazy. I like and obviously each of the teams has their team channel.
Right.
up and running as they're doing 14 hours a day, just hammering at the same boss over and over and over again.
Oh,
But
I don't know how they do it.
It's so brutal. 20 days. And you know those like whatever 20, 25, I don't know what the raids look like these days. Probably 25 people or so. I know they're not 40 like back in the day when you used to have to get 40 people together. But 25 people, 20, whatever it happens to be. Like those 20 to 25 people are on every day
for 20 straight days.
For
pretty
20
much
straight
all
days
day.
For like 14 to 16 hours.
Yeah.
And then they eat and they go to sleep and they do it again, all to try to beat the same bosses. I'm glad it's finally done. Congrats to Echo for getting it is their job, Pickle Matt. It absolutely is. They're pro players, right? They get paid for it. But at the same time, like, dude, that's like TPS reports. Like, come on.
I mean, they're not. I guarantee you, they're not. They're not raking it in. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
The sponsorships are not that good to be making that much money.
Yeah.
But you know, they're getting paid to play video games, which is the dream.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's a good thing.
Cool. Congrats, Team Echo.
Yeah. It's awesome. I actually watched who came in second? Liquid. Like 3 nights ago. I watched them for about an hour and a half because I was night flying. Shannon was in bed, so I was just like up and I didn't really feel like playing a game. So, which will bring us to, our topic of the week. But I watched for a while and they literally die. I mean, they get the boss to like, I think the best I saw was 46%, and the next like 10 runs they get them to like 70% and they all die. Like it is just so frustrating. I can't imagine being them and going through it with all the people to be like, dude, you screwed this up, blah blah blah, we gotta fix that, and then back and forth for 20 days, for hours and hours.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
And especially now being out of WoW for so long, like it's hard to just jump back in and watch that because I have no idea what's going on. So,
yeah,
cool. All right, man. Last bit of news: Fortnite and its players have raised over $70 million in donations for the Ukraine with in-game purchases and whatnot, which I think is awesome. Like that's a pretty substantial amount of money. Not in the sense of like going to war, but like just from the gamers of the world to be able to make that kind of contribution.
Yeah,
I think it's
huge.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot. That's a lot of money from just random people watching streams and donating. I don't know how Fortnite did it. I'm not as familiar.
I think it was it was like in-game cosmetics. Like,
oh, okay. So if you bought this, then that money went to Ukraine.
$70 million worth of Doctor Strange skins. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got it. And very cool.
Yeah.
As long as they're advertising. I mean, if they're not advertising, then great. We got lucky. But if they're advertising it, again, I haven't played Fortnite. So if they're advertising it and people are like, yeah, I want that skin. And plus, oh, wait, it goes to a good cause, then great.
Yeah, it's really cool. To think that like a programmer can spend a couple days knocking some skins out and then that translates into $70 million. Really cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, but that crappy situation continues to develop and we'll see where it goes. But
yeah.
All right.
I also heard that a lot of people, sorry to cut you off, I think I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter as far as people asking for a no build Fortnite these days.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are like, well, maybe the building, again, to use the word gimmick to set it apart wasn't the reason people played it. Maybe, in fact, it's just a really good game.
Fun game.
And people are playing it despite the not building and, loving it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I've had probably like 4 people tell me that Fortnite is really fun now, that I should try it. So I don't know. I've only played one game of Fortnite in my life and I won and I retired.
That's right. Done on top.
I don't know if the first game you play is against bots, but I picked up this gun that was orange. I ran around, never saw anyone until I got to like the very small circle. I end up shooting a guy in the head 3 times. He dies, and it goes victory.
Love that.
Like, this game's easy. I'm out. Mic drop.
Yeah. I'm Pickle Matt. I know we've been waiting for you to play Destiny, but we see you on Fortnite all the time now. So come on.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Cool, dude. All right, that wraps up the news for the week. And with that, we will get into our games radar. All right, so not a whole lot going on this month or this next coming week. A couple games to mention here. So Crusader Kings 3 on PS5 and Xbox. We'll see if we can get the browser working here real quick. Maybe, but anyways, that comes out on March 29th, and it's basically like Civilization. Imagine playing like Risk in a computer type game.
So it's like Age of Empires?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We got the screenshot up there. But yeah, so that comes out March 29th. If you're really into turn-based strategy type games, it's all historically accurate. I have a feeling my dad would totally be into this, but that'll come out here.
I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, I know the original games were actually pretty good, and you can actually learn history. Like, I see someday us just learning history on something like this instead of
from a video game.
Yeah.
But it all has to be PC, right? These days. Yeah. There was no Holocaust or anything. Just everybody be equal.
Cool. And then lastly, on the 31st of March for PlayStation VR, I don't know if anyone plays VR games, but I played this first one. It was called Moss, and essentially it's a platformer, and you control this little mouse, this little white mouse right here, and he can like see you and interact with you. You're like a god to him, but you're controlling him through this big world, and the second one is coming out, and then you fight things and you kind of help him so you're controlling him at the same time as like controlling things in the world.
Interesting.
So it's kind of a cool little interactive.
I've never even heard of that concept. So that sounds different.
A couple screenshots. That little blue orb is what you can like point and control, manipulate the world, and then you're controlling the little mouse the whole time. And it's pretty fun. The first one was awesome, and kind of one of the first games that I played in VR where I was like, this is a 100% unique experience that you can't even describe to someone. You just have to see it to understand how cool it is.
Yeah.
Because he looks like a little mouse, like running around, and all the atmospheric story building is really neat. But that comes out for PSVR on March 31st. The way that worked with the first one was it was on PlayStation for a little while, probably like 6 months for only PlayStation, and then now it's on Quest and all those other platforms. But hopefully they do the same. Pretty fun game, and if you're into VR games, I would highly recommend checking out Moss if you haven't tried it.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting to me. I've never played. I honestly have never played a VR game other than the one where you slash stuff with swords. Yeah, it's like the music game or whatever.
Yeah, Beat Saber.
This
game, there's zero motion sickness because you're stationary in the world the whole time. Like basically you're in a scene and you're controlling him through the whole scene. Yeah. And then when he transitions to a next like area, when you get him to the next area, then you go to a new scene. So you're just standing in place controlling him. So zero motion sickness. So
like you can literally sit on the couch and play this? Or
you could sit down and play.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool. Cool, man. Any news on your Overwatch 2 beta invite? ?
Dude, they really want me. They just haven't admitted it yet.
Oh, okay.
So haven't got the invite yet, but it's gonna be here any day now.
Your influencer status hasn't reached their ears yet, but
not quite yet, but we're getting there. You know.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Sweet. I have not heard anything about the Steam Deck as well, so nothing on the radar for you guys. No.
Okay.
The last thing I saw, it said Q2 of 2022, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right, team. With the radar being done, we will move into our major topic for the week, which is going to be all about streaming. All right, so this is like a really weird meta conversation, dream within a dream, because we're streaming, right? Talking about streaming.
It's inception-y, kind of.
Yeah, so we just want to talk to you guys about kind of the streaming culture and like how it's just a part of everyday life now. How, playing video games for a living is a possibility now, and a lot of people try to do it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about some of our favorite streamers out there, kind of the what's cool, what's not, and then we'll get into some pro tips from two extremely prolific streamers, theStroke and Swiftmida, and tell you how to stream so that you can be the next ninja.
That's right.
Cool, dude. So yeah, the streaming culture is here, whether you like it or not. It's like a whole nother, it's like a new medium, right? Where not only are you watching something, but you're also interacting live with what's going on, which is why I kind of think it's so popular.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's everywhere. Like the terms that you hear on streams are used in everyday conversations now.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's where we're going,
Yeah, I mean, if I were to tell you that one of the most famous people in the world was this guy right here, this is a picture of Ninja and his blue hair, like we'd be like, why? Look at this guy.
Yeah.
But there he is, man.
He's the guy that I think, I don't know. I didn't watch a lot of Twitch when I was younger, or YouTube videos, but I'm pretty sure this is the guy. Ninja is the guy that basically started this all. Like he figured out the formula to make it work.
Yeah, I agree. He's the guy that took it from popular amongst gamers, popular amongst people that care about a certain game, to a cultural, wide-ranging, everyone knows this guy kind of thing.
Yeah, no kidding. So, I don't know if you subscribe to it. I was gifted it from my parents when I went to Afghanistan, because I figured I pretty much had nothing else to do other than fly and play video games. But they gifted me a subscription to Masterclass. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I want that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I use the Gordon Ramsay cooking classes and all of, like, Gordon Ramsay's my cooking idol. I love that guy.
You make a mean beef Wellington?
Oh, dude, I wish. I'm still working up to that. But Ninja, no kidding, now has a masterclass on.
Oh, really?
30 days on how to become not affluent, but a strong streamer.
Oh, wow.
So there is no kidding in masterclass, which I think is so funny because, like, for cooking, obviously very simple.
Yeah.
To teach a masterclass, right? You just show you cooking and the ingredients you use and the timing and all the things. When I first saw a masterclass, there was a Steph Curry video on how to get better at basketball.
Yeah,
I don't think that really translates. Like, dude, you just have to go to the gym.
He's like, just make this shot, watch.
yeah, just make the 30-foot shot. It'll be fine. But for Ninja, again, I think it makes sense as far as if you're trying to grow a stream, maybe listen to him and see what he has to say to try to build a following. And I think it's cool that he got signed up to do the masterclass because, again, like we said, I think he's the guy that started this whole phenomena.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, these guys are celebrities now, and you see them in movies and commercials, and streaming
they get invited to the Super Bowl and they have their own booth. Like, I mean,
here's NickMercs at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
just in that luxury press box. This guy plays video games for a living. Cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we say that he plays video games for a living, and we'll talk about our favorites. But like literally, they have grown such a following that they don't just play video games, right? They're absolutely influencers on people. And the guys that do it right are good influences on people. This, regardless if you're 14 years old watching or in your mid 30s just trying to play video games casually. But I think most of the good ones that we'll talk about that we like to watch are actually really good influences on just the gaming community in general, which is nice to see. We're not dealing with toxic people that are putting other people down. There are plenty of those, obviously. But
none on this stream, but
no. But the ones we'll talk about, I feel like are like legit good people, just in general.
They don't have a message to spread that's negative or ugly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Cool. And another big influence they have in the modern time, and especially in the gaming world, it's more than just, I like this game. Like these guys they sell video games better than any other marketing strategy ever. So like if Asmongold says I'm going to go play Final Fantasy now as my game of choice, that just became one of the most popular games in the world, regardless of what he said. Yeah.
Instantly. Even people that are not watching the stream will see a tweet or a clip of that and immediately go buy the game.
Yeah, agreed.
It's crazy.
And Amazon is capitalizing on this, right? Because they own Twitch, and the last 2 games that they've released, Lost Ark, at least they're distributing Lost Ark and what was it, New World? Like the streaming hype about those 2 games was insane. Like everyone that was streaming was playing that when those games came out, and then everyone that was watching streams started playing it. And hey, guess what games you and I are playing these days? So
I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so it almost makes you wonder, like, are there games that are bad that we're playing just because other people are playing them? Like, is Warzone actually bad? Or we're just playing it because everyone's playing it?
I don't think Warzone is bad. I watched a couple clips today where, again, still a lot of glitches. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of over the format. It seems like, so apparently there's a thing now where you can swap weapons.
Oh yeah.
At like this little thing, little kiosk basically. It kind of seems like they're trying their hardest to kind of go after an Apex type feel. Yeah.
Yeah, they put the redeploy balloons in there, which is straight out of Apex.
Yep.
Gun swapping.
So I feel like they're trying to go after that because Apex is so popular. I know a lot of people are frustrated with the COD community. A lot of people still love it and will never stop playing it. So brava to you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing that anymore. At least not right now. But I feel like there are a lot of... So, like, dude, the first thing that comes to mind is when you say, hey, dude, are there bad games that people are playing? And I'm not saying this is a bad game. But no kidding, like, I don't know, last year in the summer, I was watching NickMercs play, and all of a sudden he started streaming this Knockout City game. And are you familiar with Knockout City?
No.
Yeah, no. Most people aren't. It's literally dodgeball. You just run around a map.
Okay, that sounds fun. You have to collect
these balls, and you have to throw them at other players and knock them out. So you get 2 hits, and then you're dead, and you have to respawn, and that goes against your team lives. But he was playing this like pretty often, and I was like, oh, that looks fun. So immediately I downloaded it. Right. And I played it, and I was like, no, not for me.
Not for me. I mean, Fall Guys, right? That's probably why you played Fall Guys.
It is why I played
Yeah.
Fall Guys. NickMercs, Cloaksy,
Eh,
TimTheTatman. We're all playing.
uh,
I wanted. Hey, I actually love Fall Guys.
yeah, I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean the
Yeah,
influence they have on gamers is crazy. And you're a grown
absolutely.
man, 35 year whatever you are. Don't want to put a number
Yeah,
on it, but
don't out me.
call it 21. But
Yeah,
and you can make your own decisions, but still they had that influence on you.
yeah,
Kind of
dude,
crazy.
absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think New World's a perfect example. Like a lot of hype around that game. All the streamers were all about it, and it kind of flopped, I would say. I mean, no one's playing it anymore. And it happens every time there's a big release. Like all the big streamers flocked to a certain game. When Halo Infinite came out, they were all playing it, and now there's more, Master Chiefs on TV than there are playing the actual game.
Dude, I was gonna bring this up, but like, if you look on Twitch, you know how you can see each game being streamed and how many viewers it is. Halo Infinite is like barely above Battlefield 2042, which flopped aggressively, right? So like, Halo
Yeah.
tried, and the fact that they didn't put a BR into the Halo, like, how do you not do that as a gaming, a developer? You understand that BRs are like the most popular thing in the world right now.
I
How do you
mean,
not put a battle royale into Halo?
it doesn't
And I
even
think
have
that's where
to.
they flopped.
It doesn't even have to be perfect, right? Like Halo, as this map gets smaller, done. I'm sold. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it'd be so good.
yeah,
But they were just like, no, we're not going to do that. And you can see what the results are. You just go look at Twitch, and it's not good.
yeah. I mean, it kind of makes me worry that like these guys are just getting paid by these companies to play certain games so that more people will flock to it. I think Pickle Matt brought that up.
Well, of
Uh,
course. Yeah, of course they are.
Hopefully, there's some still honest people out there, but yeah, we're all sheep and we're following the people that we think are cool.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not just gaming, right? In the culture, like you can watch people stream. Like sometimes I'll get on there and stream when I'm working on 3D animation, or I'll go in there and watch someone else doing that just to see like techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
So anything that you're doing on a computer or even in real life, people stream like real art, drawing. They'll get a camera and just stream it.
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people were doing. Well, really, the reason I know this is because when COVID first hit, big fan of Sophie Tucker, the
Yeah,
band. Their Purple Hat song is awesome, and they have some other really good songs. But they were streaming from their living room, just doing DJ sets, and
yeah,
you could watch it on Twitch every day at 1:00 Eastern during COVID. You could watch them play
that's
a
cool.
set.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, so it kind of brings up the interesting point. So it's this weird medium, right, where you're watching someone and it almost feels like you have a one-on-one connection, right? Because especially if they're really good at what they're doing and like interacting with their audience and talking to you on chat and all that kind of stuff. The big streamers, maybe not so much, just because there's thousands and thousands of people in there, but like the smaller streamers are having like, and not small, but I mean people with a couple thousand streamers, they're building relationships with what feels like a one-on-one type thing sometimes, right?
yeah.
And that could lead, especially for like young developing people, could lead to some weird situations. So there's this thing called parasocial relationships going on right now where people are feeling like they've created a real life relationship with someone in this virtual world, and it doesn't exist, right? So it kind of probably could lead to some creepy situations. I know Pokimane, this streamer here, she's had like multiple stalker assault type situations that have developed from parasocial relationship issues.
Yeah,
Kind of
which
freaky.
is sad. Yeah, I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
But for someone, I mean, obviously she's a very popular streamer. For people like that, they have, like you said, thousands of people in their chat. Like I know when you're in their chat, you might, like, you read a comment and they shout you out and are like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah," like Swiftmida, yeah, I agree with that, and blah blah blah. Talk about it, but like, come on, like they're not building a relationship with you. So
No, it's
there is a weird line.
yeah, for sure. And there's plenty of people out there that just don't have that emotional, social intelligence to know where that line is. So
Sure, of course.
just be aware of that. If streaming is something you want to get into, be careful with identity and security and all that.
Yeah, super important for sure.
Cool, dude. How do you watch streams? Do you watch them like while you're gaming on the side with that dual monitor, or do you like watch it like a TV show, like sit down and actually watch it?
It kind of depends what's going on. So typically, if I'm playing a video game, I typically don't have a stream open unless I'm playing that game and it's somebody better. Like if I'm playing Lost Ark and Asmongold's playing Lost Ark, then maybe I have his stream open just to see like what his skills are, or, what he's doing around the world. But typically when I'm actually playing a game, I don't have a stream open. When I watch streams, it's typically like, well, we're gonna go to dinner in an hour, and my wife's getting ready, and I don't really have time to commit to a game, or I can't decide on a game. I'll just open Twitch up and find something that looks interesting, and that's typically when I will watch streams.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do. Like if I'm waiting for something to happen and I don't have a lot of time to do anything else, I'll pop a stream on. Definitely in the Tesla, when I hit a supercharger, I'll throw on the dock.
Oh, dude, I have yet to hit a supercharger, so that's a good pro tip right there.
Yeah, pro tip from One More Game podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Looks like Metal Former came here for the parasocial relationship with us. So, if you really want to develop a relationship with us, you can go ahead and hit that like button or follow down there below. And you can also hit the notifications symbol, that little bell, and that'll let you know when we go live every week. Thanks. Cool. All right, man. So let's talk about some of our favorite streamers.
Okay.
So I'll start with my all-time fave. The name is DrDisrespect. There he is. Look at that. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
So this is kind of one of those streamers who is more than just playing games, right? This is a show. You're watching like a Randy Macho Man Savage type character goof around on set while he plays games.
Yeah, it's like true. It's entertainment at its core.
Yeah, it's pure comedy, and he's just acting off the cuff, interacting with fans, building this whole persona. Pretty crazy that this guy. I mean, he's probably older than we are, and he
is older than we are for sure.
Yeah, he's had his fair share of issues in the controversy realms, but he moved over to YouTube, kind of one of the first big guys to do that, and he's staying there, resolved his legal issues with Twitch, but he's not going back. And he's like the first proof of concept that you could migrate to YouTube and still draw tens of thousands of people to your streams.
Well, especially when you have a big controversy, right? Everybody wants to see what's going on. So,
yeah, dude, you gotta talk about this. Like, can you imagine having to commit to this identity for that many hours every day that he streams?
No.
Like he's wearing a wig. He's got a mustache permanently.
The sunglasses kill me. I can barely see things on my screen that's 2 feet in front of me. I can't imagine wearing sunglasses while doing it. I don't know. They're probably special made. That's that DrDisrespect.
He's got
patent right there.
Yeah. Only one way mirror, and he can see perfectly through him.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, this guy is. If you've never watched him, I would recommend just going and checking out his stream. It's pure comedy, just like Taze talked about. It's so good. He is like 100% an entertainer and not just a streamer.
Yeah.
And the fact that, so you see him, he was at NBA game, like
in his get up
a week and a half ago, in his full, like the vest, the wig, the glasses, the gamer headset. Like he just does not break character as far as when he's out in public. You know,
I mean, he rarely breaks character on stream.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it is. I highly recommend checking it out. Definitely, there is language, so if you got kids, you know, watch out. But very
I think
entertaining.
Most of the people we'll talk about have some language, so maybe not for the kiddos, but
yeah. Cool, man. We'll move on. What's what other streamers you check out?
Dude, so I know we mentioned him earlier. So NickMercs. As soon as we moved to Arizona and I set up my computer and everything, and I kind of fell in love with him, not in the literal sense, obviously, but I really enjoy his kind of vibe as far as, and I don't know, as far as I've seen some smear campaigns and all kind, just like with anything else.
Yeah, these guys are public figures, so
on Twitter. But I really enjoy his message. It's peace and love. Like respect yourself, respect each other. Peace and love, baby, is how he basically outros all of his YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I've never seen him be. The only times I've seen him be rude is when he is responding to somebody in chat, like blocking them because they're being aggressive for no reason. So I really like NickMercs. He's entertaining to watch. This dude, I think he's been a pro gamer since he was like 13 years old. Now he's like 31 or something. So he's pretty good at his craft. So it's fun to watch him, like not only be entertaining on screen but also murder the game itself.
Yeah, he's really good at the same time as being entertaining.
Yeah.
And he throws on this huge like community event,
MFAM barbecue.
Yeah, and it's just like thousands of people get to come and have a barbecue on his dime if they're in the MFAM club, and he just throws a huge rager for him.
Yep.
And they have to have it like in a football stadium now because it's so big.
Yeah, it was last year. I think it was in like September or October where they threw it in the football stadium down in Florida because there's so many people that want to go. And I'll be honest, NickMercs is the only streamer that I've ever actually subscribed to. And I still do. But no one else has gotten my money so far.
Nice, dude.
Yeah,
entertaining guy. Yeah, he talks a lot of smack, but like, you know, boys will be boys kind of way about other streamers and whatnot. He's not like the nicest when it comes to how he deals with his buddies, but you know.
Yeah.
You'll have that. Awesome. Speaking of people that he's not nice to, we got old TimTheTatman. One of you know, if I showed you a picture of this guy and told you that he's like one of the most famous people on the internet right now, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What kind of weird freaky talent does he have? No, he just plays video games. And he
that's such a picture.
And he talks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this guy also spreads a really good message to his crowd, and you know, he doesn't want to create like toxicity in the community. He just tries to build like a positive vibe, which is kind of the theme that you and I are I'm just picking up as we talk about this. Is all these guys, they're not toxic, they're not controversial.
Not at all. I mean, they can be controversial to some people, but at the same time, they're not actively trying to be, right?
Right. They're not trying to be political,
right?
Is what I'm kind of getting at, but
yeah.
And
the Tatman also, he is what? I don't know if he's the founder, but he's a co-owner of Complexity Gaming, which has to do a lot with the Dallas Cowboys. So I feel like he probably should be your favorite guy.
Yeah, I actually went over there because it's in Frisco, which is like where the Cowboys' home away from home is. It's like this huge. Imagine a city, this small town built just for Cowboys and Cowboys fans.
Yeah, yeah.
We went there during the Christmas, and not on Christmas, but like the kids sat on Dallas Cowboys Santa lap instead of a real Santa.
Okay.
But I went over there to see, because they built the Complexity Gaming like complex in the same buildings as the Cowboys facilities.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it was closed that day, so I didn't get to go in and tell them that I'm their next big name. But
that's right. Yeah, recruit me next.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, he's branching out into that, and I don't know how that exactly is going. I don't know if esports is kind of taking off like people thought it would, but
I think I don't know what trajectory necessarily it's on, but I feel like it's definitely starting to get traction.
Yeah.
and start to move forward as
Yeah,
far as like esports. So I've seen a lot of like polls, like in your opinion, let's just say one day Complexity is big, right? Do you think Complexity could overtake the Dallas Cowboys as far as revenue and all the things? Because that's kind of the biggest debate right now. Is like, is esports literally the future as far as income and revenue goes?
The way I see it, the way things are moving, right? And just kind of like 30 years ago, if you were to ask a high school freshman what he wanted to be for a living when he grows up,
yeah,
half of them would say, I want to play professional baseball, that kind of stuff. Like, I want to be in the NFL, blah, blah, blah. I think that number is dropping, while at the same time, you ask kids what they want to be when they grow up nowadays. Like, if you were to ask an 11-year-old right now, what does he want to be? He'll probably say something like YouTube creator or streamer or content creator, something like that. Like, that's like one of the number one desired jobs for like modern kids.
Yeah.
So add 100 years to that trend, and for sure, I think this, because the NFL's how old? Super Bowl 50 something we're on, 60 maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
So in that amount of time, the Dallas Cowboys are the biggest grossing sports organization. I think Real Madrid makes a little bit more, but anyways, it doesn't take long for something to catch fire and become a gargantuan thing, right?
Right.
So yeah, I definitely think in 100 years or so, because it's much more relatable to your average person in the modern world.
Average NARP.
Yeah,
non-athletic regular person.
Yeah. Yeah, sports will always have its place, but I do think there'll come a time, not that I want to see this happen, but there will be a time where, especially as technology increases and metaverse and all that crap, we will see esports or some sort of virtual event take the place of sports.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
We kind of talked about it last week as far as, the putting your Quest 2 on or whatever and sitting on your couch and watching the NCAA tournament from your couch, right? In the first row.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get to that point. Again, I think that we're always going to have people that want to go see sports, and I'm included in that category. I would rather go see an NCAA Final Four game than basically anything else.
Yeah.
At this point in my life. So I feel like we're always going to have both, but I feel like esports, and you watch it now, when they're doing tournaments, there's thousands of fans.
Oh yeah.
In the arena or whatever they call it, yelling the whole time. So I just think it's going to continue to grow, and all of these esports teams, I feel like, are just going to continue to expand and get better and better.
Agreed. I mean, Complexity is a perfect example. Partnership with Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, like that money flowing from that source.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding?
Get in on the ground level, and some of these are going to probably take off, I would imagine.
Yeah. Okay, so to kind of move on, and compile on complexity. So I don't know if you saw this, but Cloaksy is another one that I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him play.
Yeah, he plays with NickMercs a lot, I think.
Yeah, he does. Him and TimTheTatman. So Cloaksy, or they call him Clocky. They call him
Clocky baby.
A turtle. Franklin the Turtle. Franklin de Tortuga was his call sign on COD for a long time. But he actually just joined Complexity as a co-owner this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll have to hit him up too.
He's another one that's, I mean, if of all the guys we've talked about, Cloaksy is the best video game player I have seen.
Yeah.
When it comes to first person shooters, like he is outstanding.
Yeah. Sometimes I do
compared
like
to the other guys.
I do like to sometimes watch some of the guys who are maybe not as, entertaining as people, and just the pro gamer type guys that happen to stream.
Pure gamer, right?
Cloaksy
he's like 22 years old.
Yeah.
Like he wakes up from being drunk on Monday night and will join their team like 3 hours late, and everybody's like, dude, what the heck? Like, how are you so late? And he's just like, oh, it'll be fine. I got my coffee, and then go out and kill it.
Dominate.
In a VR. So he's very entertaining to watch. He has a following, not nearly as much as the three guys that we've previously talked about.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. That's a good one. All right, let's bring up this guy. He's kind of controversial in a sense because he kind of speaks his mind, right? But Asmongold is one of the biggest streamers in all of streaming, and he's still
ever. Yeah,
he's over on Twitch. I mean, when this guy went to Final Fantasy, he had like a ridiculous amount of people watching.
Yeah, I think I mentioned 2 weeks ago, or however many weeks ago, when I tuned into his Lost Ark stream, he had 130,000 people watching him.
Right. And look at this guy.
Crazy.
Like, he's self-admittedly just deranged gamer who doesn't give a crap about anything but gaming. Like, he lives in a house with clutter and he doesn't care to clean it. And
the guy drinks Dr. Pepper for 17 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, he just plays off of that vibe, right? Of just like, I'm a gamer, I don't leave my house, and this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm happy doing this all day, every day. So I'm sure that speaks to a lot of people. When I first saw this guy streaming, I couldn't stand it, right? But this guy has definitely grown on me as a stream viewer. And I think he's actually grown like as a person recently.
Agreed.
So it's kind of crazy, but you watch these guys go through like life events. Like, his mom passed a month or two ago, and like all of that was out in the open, displayed. Like, he talked about it while it was happening.
Yeah, he posted it on Twitter the whole time.
And so he was leaving like YouTube videos of how he was dealing with it, and it was just like, these guys have been streaming forever, right? And their life is just like displayed on a platter for the whole world to watch. So to me, that would just be exhausting.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? It's like being it's not like being a celebrity. Like, he literally is a celebrity, right? So it's tough to go through that and have stuff happen to you, and you either have to do what he did and just air it out, or you kind of become a recluse for a little bit, and then everyone's like, well, where have you been? You just avoid it or explain it or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure. Like, I've seen this guy kind of like evolve a little bit, and my, liking of his streams has actually grown. So kind of just a cool little interaction that you can have with these people.
Yeah. I also like Asmongold because he's obviously very good as far as the like MMO, the massively multiplayer online games go. But he also he has a podcast as well, where they talk about, you know, all of the pitfalls of certain games, and he's very, when he is controversial, it's again towards someone who's being gross in chat for no reason, and
Right.
gross can mean a lot of things, or it's because he's so familiar with these games, he just understands the like inner workings of them, and he's like, well, this could be way better if you just did this, and he gets fired up about that stuff, which is kind of cool to watch for someone who kind of feels like you and I, you know, as far as
Yeah.
just a video gamer, but he's obviously much more in tune with mechanics and maps and different things that, you know, we don't necessarily think about.
Yeah, he's gaming on another level when it comes to those types of games.
Yeah.
But he's not the kind of guy that has a filter, you know what I mean? So like
No.
when he gets fired up about something, he's going to say some stuff that maybe will rub some people in the wrong way, but like
Yeah.
his viewership loves it, right? Like they're all about it. It's when he gets kind of singled out on, you know, smear campaigns and whatnot, but
Right.
you know, he has no F's to give, and he's going to tell you like he sees it, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, why would he? He's built a following on being that exact person, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would say
he's
this
just going
guy
to
is probably
continue to do his thing.
one of the most honest and transparent people you'll ever find on stream. Like he is what he is to a fault. So
Yep.
cool. So all right. You got any other big names that you
Dude,
watch?
I have one more. He is getting bigger, and the only reason I want to bring him up is because he's so entertaining. But I don't know. Have you heard of the Baka Bros? Okay, so it's well, Repulize is one of them. There's a kid that's like 19 years old. That's one of them. Diaz Biffle is that one, and Lucky Shemu. So those are the three Baka Bros, and they just got hired by Complexity as well. And I hate that I'm like shouting out Complexity because they have to do with Dallas Cowboys. But
sponsor us.
But dude, so Diaz Biffle is probably the, in my time watching COD on Twitch, probably the best COD player I've ever seen in my entire life. Like the kid is insane. It's like, it's stupid how good he is. Lucky Shemu is also very good. Repulize, though, the reason I'm shouting him out is because I've recently watched a couple of his streams because I started following him on Twitter. This kid. So before I do this, they just bought a house, the Baka Bros house. So they're kind of doing like a FaZe Clan, you know, house type thing,
bro compound thing.
Yeah. But Repulize, so in between him gaming, he literally throws like a concert, like does DJ tracks and just yells and into his mic and can like mix it. And,
while he's playing?
No, like in between games.
Yeah.
So he'll like hide the game screen and then go back to this while they're searching for another game. But I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Repulize stream, it's very entertaining. It's like almost I'm very introverted.
Yeah.
As like overall, so it's like almost too much for me, but at the same time it's super entertaining to just watch this kid while out in his house and throw basically a rager in between games. And he shouts everybody out. He's very loud. He loves everybody. So go check him out if you haven't. He's very fun.
Nice. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
All right. So those are our kind of big recommendations if you want to check out some streamers online. There are a couple of small time streamers that you should probably check out. My favorite being Swiftmida over at twitch.tv/Swiftmida.
Yes, sir.
You know, he's up and coming, and
we'll get there one day.
There's another guy called theStroke over there on twitch.tv/theStroke. Oh wait, that's me. Self plug.
Oh yeah. Check us out.
Yeah, we would appreciate a follow and some viewers.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you watch any? You ever like get curious and go pop into like small time streamers or anything?
I have on random when I'm not, again, kind of feeling anything specific. I just kind of pop in and just the best way to do it, in my opinion, is because Twitch. When you open Twitch, it's all the popular
The big
streamers,
time.
right? Yeah. So how I like to do it is I typically, if I'm feeling, different or whatever, I don't want to watch NickMercs stream or he's offline or whatever. I'll just pick a game, the game that we're interested in that day or week, and I'll like scroll to kind of the bottom and just pick a guy or a girl with like, 7 viewers and just pop in and see.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody specific that I watch, but it's nice to throw people some views and
Yeah, I mean, it's just
follows and stuff.
It's cool to be a part of like, and me trying to do a small time stream thing. Like when you do something like that, it like really is like a cool thing for that person to have a random person show up and be like, "What's up, man?
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
game are you playing?" This, yeah,
It's really inspirational for those people.
Right.
They probably been grinding it out, streaming part time, and just
Yeah.
trying to build their following. And when somebody random drops in and says what's up in the chat, like that's super cool.
Yeah, really neat. Cool. Yeah, I do that from time to time. Just kind of, just like you said, pick a game that I mostly when I want to see a game that I'm interested in buying. But
Yep.
I like the trailer isn't enough for me to know, and the reviews could be hit or miss. Just go watch someone that you don't know play this game, and then just talk to them and see what's up.
Yeah,
just cool.
and it's always nice to be active. I feel like there's a lot of the kids call it lurkers.
Yeah.
Quotation.
Oh, yeah.
So you can like pop into a stream and just hang out and do nothing. But I feel like especially for smaller streamers, when you log into Twitch and find their channel, like say what's up, say, hey, what's going on? Because that is what makes their day. At least it would in mine. I don't get very many hey, what's up, but
yeah, I mean, let's be honest, like video games are fun. Watching people play video games, okay, maybe, but interacting, like the interpersonal interaction is what streaming is all about. Like the live
absolutely.
back and forth. It's why people love it. It's why people donate so much to the big people. Like, why do you think anyone gives this guy who makes multi-million dollars a month $5? Because they're interacting with him and he's shouting out their whatever they're saying.
Right. And I think that's what makes people successful. It's tough at first because when you're trying to stream, and I have obviously dealt with this, you kind of just have to have a conversation with yourself because there's nobody in chat other than your two buddies that you made mods, like you and Craig, But other than that, there's no one there to talk to, so you kind of just have to have a dialogue with yourself. But when you start to get a little bit more of a following and somebody drops by and says what's up, like I think that's what makes people successful as far as changing from like kind of a small time streamer to like not big time, but more of a better streamer because you can actually interact face to typing, as it were, with people.
Yeah, I mean, I know a few people who they only watch small streamers. Like they like the one-on-one back and forth. They know the community. They know everyone in there that's watching. They can have running conversations every day when they're streamers on.
Right, as opposed to a dude watching NickMercs who has 90,000 viewers and the screen is just like you can't keep track of the text because it's just going.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's 50,000 emojis and memes and I don't even.
Right.
There's a whole Twitch culture about emojis that I just don't understand. Like I don't know what a lot of them mean. Maybe I'm a boomer, but
no, dude, I have no idea.
Like you're supposed to know what like the guy's face that's going like this means, and like I don't
We'll get there one day.
Yeah. All right, man. Cool. That being said, let's kind of just get into a little bit of what do you think like makes a good streamer? Like what patterns have we pointed out? Yeah, like a good, strong, positive message seems to be one of them.
Yeah, I think a good message, obviously. Yeah, I feel like most people. I mean, there's some people in the community that might thrive off of somebody that's toxic and
Yeah.
just whatever.
Those
But
are out there.
we're not trying to you know get those people to the stream. I think that a good message, just like being yourself, right? Once you get the viewers, chatting with them. Again, I haven't watched Ninja's masterclass, so maybe next week I'll have some more tips and tricks if I get to it. But
If suddenly you have 50,000 followers next week,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to buy that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm most definitely not a successful streamer. But it seems to me like overall people like just guys and girls that are being themselves, like hanging out with the community, like shouting people out, having a good time. When someone, and I feel like I was probably am still, when I get on stream and there's nobody in chat, I feel like I'm stiff, right? Because there's nobody there to interact with. But when you're yourself and you're loose and you're having a good time with the people in your community and the people that are following and watching, like I think that's what streaming's about, right? To just reach people and hang out and have a good time playing video games or watching video games or whatever.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree with you. Like it's not about the games. It's not about what you're showing on your screen. It's about building a perfect, like entertaining representation of who you are and then interacting with the people who dig it. And if you can do that in an entertaining way, people like to laugh, people like to like have that one-on-one back and forth. People eat it up. And that's what these guys all do. They're masters at being open and honest, because I don't think maybe DrDisrespect plays a character, but you can tell that he's representing like thoughts and concepts that he believes in. Otherwise, how could he do that for that many hours on TV? But
right.
Yeah, man, it's all about audience engagement and just entertaining people and creating that community. That's really the best way to define it.
Yep.
Sweet. All right, so we've talked a little bit about streaming, and you might be asking yourself, man, this sounds awesome. I want to be the next big streamer. So what are you going to do? Well, as Swift pointed out, you could buy the masterclass from Ninja, or we could give you some, tips and tricks from these highly prolific Twitch streamers.
Yeah.
Cool. So you've been doing this, off and on for about a year or so, I think, right?
About a year. Again, very much off more than on.
Yeah. It's a hobby at this point, but like what?
Yeah.
Where did you start? Like step one, what if someone's trying to look for step one, what do they do?
I would say, I mean, obviously you got to figure out how to do it, right?
Right.
And it's not as simple as I thought it was going to be, as far as just like log into Twitch and show my screen.
Yeah.
There are options for that, but I feel like you kind of have to find a conduit, as it were, to stream to people, right, on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook. Facebook is doing it, right? So whatever you choose to go with, you have to have a conduit to kind of get to that platform, right? I know when I started, because you had previously been doing it, you recommended Streamlabs. I use Streamlabs OBS. I know there's lots of different options out there, but I've only really experimented with Streamlabs OBS. So
so it's basically going to be very hard to do anything more than sharing your Xbox or PC screen and have your voice going without getting some sort of software on a computer. So you're really, unless you just plan on streaming right off your Xbox or PlayStation, and I can tell you it kind of depends on what your motivations and goal are, right? Like if you're just doing this for fun, have at it. If you have like some goals to, build a following, or you are trying to transform this into some kind of like monetary thing, then you need to be realistic about the fact that you're competing with tens of thousands of people streaming every day. So I think step one is build a brand, like build what you want your online kind of identity to look like something as simple as like the colors that you're going to throw up on your overlays and whatnot. Like you kind of need to start with like that step and figure out what you want that to look like, so you have some sort of direction on where you're going to go with that, right?
Agreed. And I did not really do that at first, and Taze helped me out a lot as far as like the logo and my transitions and all the things, which I know he doesn't have time for with a family and going through school and the Air Force, but he hooked me up pretty aggressively.
Yeah, man, you can find people out there who are willing to who have a little bit of experience with Photoshop or whatever and throw together a logo for you, pick out your colors, and it doesn't have to be super complicated. Like, just people are so used to streams looking so nice though that it's going to be hard for you to find traction if it isn't pleasing on the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there's tons of YouTube tutorials out there. If you have any questions about how to set up the software, I use OBS Studio, which is very similar to Streamlabs OBS. But I recommend OBS Studio because it's just the simplest version. Cool. So you got the software. You've got a computer, right? And you're ready to go. Do you use a camera or not?
I feel like most people these days do, just because they like to show their beautiful mustaches and whatnot.
All their things that they've wasted money on in the background, like Overwatch collectibles and
exactly. But I don't know. So when I was talking about the Baka Bros, like Diaz Biffle, like he still does not stream with a camera.
Right.
He's just that good at the game. He has a mic so you can hear him, and then that's it. So every once in a while, like I think people are paying him for like face reveals. Although now he's kind of famous joining Complexity. Yeah. But when he was no kidding in high school, as like a 17, 18-year-old dude, like he would do a face reveal on stream like once a year.
Yeah.
And people would tune in because he never had a camera. So it's very clearly possible to stream and get viewers and all that stuff without a camera.
Right.
As long as I feel like the most important part is a mic, so you can interact with people like we were just talking about.
Agreed. I would say if you're going to invest in anything, get a mic, like a decent mic before you get a camera. You can get a crappy, webcam, and that'll do the same job as a $5,000 DSLR. So go for a mic first. My recommendation is anything from Elgato is great because it's easy to use sometimes, relatively inexpensive based on some of the other stuff out there, and it's all USB. You don't have to buy any crazy like XLR connections or anything like that.
Yeah, I will second that as far as Elgato products. I basically rekitted my place with Elgato stuff. I know we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but yikes. But they're good, solid products.
Cool. So there is the question of some people stream with, if you're going to be streaming from a PC, like playing computer games, do you use one computer or two? So Swift and I both use one.
Yep.
If you are going to get very complicated in your transitions and your backgrounds and things like that, if there's if there's a lot of stuff happening graphically on your screen besides the game that you're playing, you're probably going to want to use a second computer to pass your stream through, because one computer is going to have a hard time handling all of that, even if you have a really nice computer. So there are times when I've tried to stream with like a really crazy background happening while I've got a game up, and it just chugs and lags. So cool. Yeah, people were asking earlier in chat about Swift's computer behind you. So you're streaming on your computer, on one computer, but it's way over there. How'd you do that?
Yeah, I basically got some. I have USB extenders, DisplayPort extenders. So I know it's a long way away, but I'm not playing anything that really is too crazy on the graphics card or anything like that. So it works out just fine.
Nice, dude. So yeah, I mean, just make it what you want to make it, right? Like build your scene, what you want it to look like back there. Get all the lighting that you want going, and just have at it. Have fun. Don't put pressure on yourself to like have viewers and all that. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Cool. We talked about motivations. Yeah, I'd say that just figure out what you want this to be. Do you want it to be a hobby? Do you want it to be a job? And just kind of realize like everything becomes work if you make it work, even if it's your passion, right? So be careful. I'm sure there's plenty of streamers out there who hate video games now because they play them all day, every day.
Yeah. I would also say that there's a lot of people, it's not necessarily a negative thing, but I feel like there's a lot of people these days that I've seen, especially when COVID first hit and I was watching Twitch, that quit their job and decided to become a full-time streamer.
Yeah.
So realize like, yeah, you can do that, but it's work, right? I mean, there's no quick fix to making you basically make revenue off of this, right? It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of dedication as far as, streaming daily from this to that and building a brand and all. Like it's not as simple as just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to stream on Twitch and I'm sure it'll be fine. Because originally when I started doing it, I thought, yeah, like this can be kind of a side hustle.
Yeah.
And I think I have like 17 followers on Twitch, right? It's not simple to build the community, and it requires work and attention and all the things. So when you're listening to us, don't just assume that, because obviously either of us have not figured it out, right? As far as the code to being to building full up following. So don't just assume when you log on to Twitch and you see these guys having 90,000 viewers every time they log in that it's going to be simple to log in and it'll be fine. Like, yeah, I'm sure it'll work out.
These guys have been doing this for years, right? Like Asmongold has been streaming for 14 years or something. Like,
yeah,
it's just like anything. If you want it to be something that you can pay the bills with, you need to treat it like your job, and you need to.
Right.
I assume, because like you said, we haven't figured it out, but someday we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hope so.
All right. Any pitfalls that you can tell people to watch out for, like things that you didn't know or things that you would not do if you were starting over again? One of mine is like, if you want to stream something that you're looking to get like people watching immediately, probably not a great idea to go and play a game that already has 500,000 people watching other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna be, the Twitch algorithm does not work like that. No. You're going to be at the very bottom of the barrel, and all the big time streamers are going to be up at the top as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, someone's going to have to click the show more streamers like 9 times to even find your name. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, just either pick a game that you love or look for like niche market games that you realize are coming out, or One suggestion I was told was to try to get like early access keys to games that are coming out that maybe aren't like super popular or like have a huge following, but there's a little bit of like, there's a very specific set of gamers that play these specific types of games, right? Like, I don't know, puzzle games or whatever. And you get an early access key to that, and now you're someone streaming a game that people don't have access to, showing off kind of what's going on. So that's a possibility when it comes to tips there.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is it's nice to stream stuff that people are interested in, like Call of Duty, Warzone.
Right.
Like a lot of people want to watch that, but if you're just starting as a streamer, like you're not going to get viewers because NickMercs, TimTheTatman, DrDisrespect, Cloaksy, all those dudes are playing the same game and they already have a following. So what I have realized in like the research and videos I've seen is like find something that interests you, just like Tay said, whether it be puzzle game. Let's say puzzle games, right? Find something that interests you and play a game that a lot of people are not playing. And guess what? You know how many people watch Twitch every day? Millions. So there are going to be people that are interested in the same game as you, despite you thinking like everyone's watching Call of Duty.
Right. No matter what game is released, there is somebody who will try it at least, right?
A lot of people, not just somebody.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people that want to either watch the game or figure out if they want to buy the game or whatever.
Right.
So find, like Taze was saying, find something niche initially to stream and talk about and all the things. Again, it's going to be a conversation with yourself at least to start. But people will follow.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, one of the like most random viewers that I ever got was when I was talking about doing 3D animation on Maya. I was just sharing my screen while I was doing some homework and like animating this character, and like 6 or 7 random people just kind of came through and said what's up and kind of helped me out with stuff I didn't know how to do and whatnot. So there's people
that's cool.
that just browse, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Cool. I'd say one other pitfall to watch out for is, like you said, like keep that running dialogue going, even if there's nobody in there. Because if someone does show up and you expect yourself to all of a sudden go from being not saying a word because you're playing by yourself to suddenly being entertaining and talking to this person, it doesn't work like that, right? Like you need to build habit patterns to like be an entertaining gamer while you game by yourself. And also remember that just because there's nobody watching doesn't mean you're not learning like how to mess with the, different scenes and transitions. Like it's all a learning experience that you have to get while you're streaming live. Like you don't just have your first one and it's perfectly recorded like DrDisrespect.
Yeah, I mean there's no shot of it being perfect to start, right? You gotta work through the growing pains just like in anything else. And I would say like not talking. Like if somebody shows up to your stream and you're like there's your 2 buddies who aren't talking or whatever, and you're just staring at the screen.
Yeah.
Like who's interested in that? Nobody.
Nah.
So like just keep kind of a dialogue, and that's what I've tried to start doing. Again, I'm very much introverted, so it was tough for me at first, especially when I'm on Discord with you guys. To like kind of put myself out there as far as just that open dialogue. But I think it's important because I saw a tweet, I don't know, last week where it's like, dude, if you just keep the conversation going, even if it's with yourself, at some point somebody's going to drop by and hang out and you're going to say something that interests them. And then they're going to be part of the community, right? Because then that gets them interested and they keep coming back, and then you can engage them.
Yep. So yeah, the most important thing to remember, just like that word engage, like audience engagement, community building. If you work on that and then you put time into it, I think this is something that anyone can be successful at if you have the time.
Absolutely.
But I don't know what you do if you're dedicating 100% of your time to trying to do this as a job, but you're not making money. I don't know how you fill that gap, but I'll let you know if I figure it out. Maybe you make a podcast.
Yeah.
Cool, dude. Where can people find help on how to do this stuff?
Dude, I don't know. Ninja Masterclass.
Boom. YouTube.
YouTube.
Everything that I've learned on how to do this stuff, not saying it's anything spectacular, but like all the transitions and all the stuff to make it look at least like semi-professional, all on YouTube. Like that's all you need.
You can literally find anything on YouTube these days. So, yeah. I mean, that lends itself to help you regardless of what you're looking for. But for this, there are literally thousands of videos for just type in like what you're looking for. I bet you there's at least 100 videos for each of the things as far as transitions, how to start a good stream. Like people have done this and are trying to help and post it on YouTube. So
yep. And once again, Discord is like your best friend, right? So there's a couple of Discord channels. One's that I use a lot just to ask people questions and like if something's being weird with software or hardware. Stream Elements Discord server is really good. People are very friendly and answer a lot of stuff there on how to do a lot of the technical stuff that you might not know what to do with at first. And then, I mean, feel free to join our Discord, Bonsai Gaming. You can reach us at either OMGpodcastGG at gmail.com or OMG_podcastGG on Instagram and Twitter. And we will get you an invite to the Discord. And if you want to have a personal talk about how to get stuff set up, that's something I'm more than happy to do for you.
Yeah.
Sweet, dude. Streaming. Did we cover it all? I think we knocked it out of the park on all things streaming.
Yeah, I think we hit a lot of it. There's probably a lot of stuff that we missed, but hit us up on email to let us know where we should go next.
Cool, dude. Let's move on real quick to what we played this week. All right, man. Destiny. I am light level. My gear level at least is 1557. And then kind of all I did this week was work on my pinnacles and then take you through the Grasp of Avarice dungeon. How was your experience with
It's a horrible time.
If anyone hasn't
hated that.
If you haven't done this dungeon, no spoilers, but be careful what buttons you push and where you step.
Gosh.
Swift had a great time.
It's the worst. It was like playing Elden Ring. Just in Destiny.
And we knew what was going on, so we were dragging him through it, but we weren't telling him, at least at the beginning. And so he died like 40 times to start.
Oh, it was so bad. They were like, "Hey, step on that switch real quick. We gotta move on." I would die instantly.
Great times.
Yeah, for you guys.
I think the best one was when we were going up the stairwell and the rolling barrel came down.
Yeah.
I was dying. All right. I also played a lot more Lost Ark this week than I had before. So I grinded out another 20 levels. And I am fully committed to totally changing my initial opinion about this game. I am digging it. Loved the dungeon. Totally loved the dungeon. The two dungeons that I've done recently are like movie quality. Like, it was really cool. I don't know how to describe it, but it was awesome. Made me think like, why did I ever play World of Warcraft when there's something like this out there?
I know.
I will say I still have zero cares about the story. Like I just mash through the commentary.
Oh yeah. I've started doing that. Originally, I kind of wanted to know the story, and then I was just like, nope, this is nonsense. I don't care.
It's a little too cheesy and kind of gimmicky. Yeah. Not a whole lot going on. The characters aren't compelling.
Yeah.
But whatever. Cool. I don't know if you saw, but they gave everyone this goofy cosmetic stuff. Did you log in recently?
I have not logged in a couple days, honestly.
Check your mail because they gave. It's funny because they build this like really cool looking world with dragons and stuff. And then you check your mail and you get this thing that makes you look like Barney, and you ride a hoverboard.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. Thanks, I guess.
I like hoverboards. That sounds cool.
Oh, yeah. Cool. I also played Elden Ring a little bit, mostly for our listener who gifted us that game. God, I am still so bad at this game. Like,
yeah.
I consider myself an above average gamer, but I cannot figure out, like, do I just block and attack after that, or what? I don't know. What do I do?
Dude, I saw a video of real quick. I saw the video of somebody with like a wooden shield.
Yeah.
Against this gigantic boss, and the boss would swing the sword that was like 40 feet long, this sword, and he had this like 2-meter diameter shield, and it was like bing, like no issue. So I don't know, maybe we're just doing it wrong.
I don't know, dude. I suck. If you have any tips, let me know on social media so I can keep playing this game, because I like how it looks and feels, but I can't get past anything.
Yeah.
Cool. I played a little more Superliminal. If you're a Portal fan, get this game because it is very, very similar. All right. And then lastly, I'm going to get into a game that right now is my favorite game of the year, and it's called Tunic. It just came out. It's by an independent developer. It's a one-man show. He hires out a little bit of contracting for like the music and whatnot. But it's on Game Pass. So if you're subscribed to that, it's for free. I've been playing on the old Backbone here on my phone anytime I, have a minute or two. But it's so much fun. So it's from an isometric view, kind of. So like think like Diablo style, one angle. You can't rotate the camera or anything. But you're this little fox, and everything looks kind of like miniature, like you're in a toy world or something. Like they use tilt shift on the camera to make it look like everything's small and like itty bitty. But it's like a Zelda, old school Zelda-like game, like Link to the Past. But it does something that I've never seen in any game before, and I won't make too many spoilers, but it hides things from you right in front of your face. Like, for example, like you'll go through this whole rigmarole to beat this certain area or dungeon, and then it pops you out right at the entrance in a way that you're like, oh, I could have just gone that way from the beginning, but you didn't even think about it. It's cool, and those kind of things are all over the place. Have you seen this advertised?
So I've seen when you messaged me that you found like your game of the year so far. I looked it up on YouTube and watched some of the gameplay, and I think that was the biggest takeaway from me, as far as, because I have not played the game yet.
Yeah.
But my biggest takeaway was the fact that it's kind of a scenic world, it's very pretty to look at, and it's fun to wander around. But the combat style is very difficult, just like Elden Ring, like you talked about. As far as like, no kidding, like, oh wow, like this is gonna take a while to get through. But also just the hidden, like, I don't want to call them Easter eggs in the story, but just like the different areas that you, at least as far as I saw on the YouTube video, the different areas where you can like kind of drop down and be like, oh my gosh, like that's all I needed.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like the first time it happened to me in this game, I go, what? It was in the first room. Like I didn't even, it's cool. And even me telling you this, you still won't see it. Like it's really cool how they hide it.
Well, I also saw something, as far as so I guess everything that you read is in some language that no one can understand.
Oh yeah, this is a really cool thing.
The writing, but apparently there's like a book, kind of like the books we used to have when we were young, playing like Zelda and things that you could buy from the store.
Yeah, like game guides.
Like a guide, right? And it kind of tells you, but even the guide, most of it's still in that language that you can't read. But there's a few words where you're kind of like, okay, maybe that makes sense.
Yeah, it's really cool. You wander the world finding these pages, and it reveals itself to you little by little, and like you kind of have to make some educated guesses because the language is all messed up and it shows pictures. But it looks like an old school like Super Nintendo book in front of the cartridge thing that tells you how to do stuff, how to play, and it's super cool because you're wandering the world finding those pages, and that's how they kind of integrate the map too. But you can't read much of the text because it's in this gibberish language. But you start to figure it out just based on like what little they do show you. It's really neat.
That's so cool.
Yeah, highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. I'd say probably about a third, not even a third of the way through it. But cool. That was my week in gaming. What about you, man?
I played a lot of Lost Ark. I'll be honest.
He grinded.
Yeah, I got from like 38, I think I was last show, to now 50, level 463 eye level.
Oh, humble brag. Are you doing raids?
Yeah. So I started doing the end game content, and it's really fun. The fact that so there's different things: chaos dungeons, abyssal dungeons, there's the guardian raids, there's other guardian things, blah blah blah. I've done the chaos dungeons speak to itself because it's chaos, because there's literally a million ads that you just have to basically cut through, and then you're done. The guardian raids are fun because, well, at first they're not fun because apparently when in this game you start in like a center island or an island overall, and you have to find the boss, which is like super not normal for me because typically the boss is on the mini map. Like you can see where the boss is, but in these you have to wander around. You can shoot the flares off to show where the boss is, but if you don't have flares, then you just have to wander around and kill ads until you find the boss. And the bosses are fun. Super, like a lot of mechanics to it, which is good. I appreciate that about the game.
Is it? Are they hard? Like, have you died?
There are some very difficult ones. Yeah. So I've only done the first two because I didn't have the item level to do the next ones. But there are some difficult mechanics as far as like, no kidding. Like obviously, if you played any sort of these games before, there's red on the ground. Don't stand in that.
Yeah.
Right. That just makes sense. But there's other mechanics that don't really show themselves until it's too late. So I like that. The only other thing that I would say about the Guardian raids is they're fun, but there's no health bar for the boss. So you just beat this thing up until you're
Kingdom
done.
Come.
Because you don't know when it's about to happen.
That's so weird. Why?
Which is very weird. And it's very different than most of the games of this genre.
Yeah.
But Lost Ark is fun. I'm still planning on playing it and leveling up, and we'll see what's going on. The only other game I played this week is Destiny. Again, I want to get back on the Elden Ring. I didn't have time this week. Been night flying and busy
doing life.
Yeah, but played Destiny. We went through the Grasp of Avarice, which we talked about. Horrible.
I feel like our review of all things Destiny is not good.
Yeah. We're like, we love the game, but
everything sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks in a good way.
Yeah. So played some Destiny with you guys. Overall, I think I'm light level 13 or 1539 now. Yeah. So getting up there. Not quite as high as you guys, but Still enjoying it. Looking forward to the next time we can raid. We tried to raid, no go, based on our crew, but we'll get there.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. That's all she wrote, huh?
I think so. That's it.
Cool, dude. Well, let's see what we check out this week. I think I'm going to play a lot of the same. It's very rare that I have this problem where there's so many good games that I want to play because I'm having a hard time like deciding which one to play. Back in the day, it was like Warzone's the only good game out right now.
Yeah. No, I know it's tough because there are so many good games, and even if you're not trying to get into like a gaming session with one of the new games, there's tons of old games that you could play. That would be great. So it's rough.
Like I keep meaning to play that God of War game because I've heard it's so good, but
yeah, same. And I still have not done it at all. I bought it, have not played it.
Yeah. $60 sitting on the shelf.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, guys, talking about what we played this week, our reviews, and all things streaming. We are One More Game podcast. I'm theStroke. That is my buddy Swiftmida. We can be found at OMGpodcastGG at gmail.com. If you want to send us a listener email, ask us a question, let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. We can definitely bring that up in a future episode and figure out, how to make the show better or answer your question live on air and have that interaction there. Cool. You can also find us at OMG_podcastGG for Twitter and Instagram. And then we already talked about our Twitch accounts. You got anything else you want to shout out before we leave?
Oh, man. I'm good. This is fun.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Good week. Good episode. Went a little long, but, we got you.
Yeah.
All right. You can also find our episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or at omgpodcast.podbean.com or anywhere else you find your podcasts. If you like what you hear, go ahead and leave us a review and let us know what we're doing right and what we can do better for you. And we'd very much appreciate that. Overall, had a good time talking to you guys about games, and we will see you next week, dude. Swift, see you next week.
See you, buddy.
Later.